as we are here at the Jamison Road Fire Company in the town of Elma, as Erie County continues to distribute AEDs to various organizations, including what we have here, which is fire companies in our eastern part of the county. We realized following the Damar Hamlin incident that one thing that our county could do was better supply community organization, churches, others, including what we have here, fire companies, with AEDs. These are, of course, automated external defibrillators to assist individuals that may be going through a cardiac event. The wonderful thing about these AEDs that we have been distributing is they can really be used by anyone. If you have no knowledge or experience and how to actually use one, it will talk you through it. You can hit basically turn it on, and it will basically tell you what you need to know to actually run it. In the situation that we're here today, that's not something we have to worry about, like if we were at a church or a community organization or a sports group, because we have trained professionals from our volunteer fire service who will be administering the AEDs as needed. One of the things that we've been able to do in Erie County is continue to ensure that our number one responsibility is protecting the public safety, to do all that we can to ensure the health and welfare of our citizens. And that's what they do in our Emergency Medical Services Division. We have our Deputy Commissioner in charge of Emergency Medical Services, Greg Gill, here, as well as the Special Assistant, Ms. Calhoun. And we're joined by a number of representatives from the Jamison Road Fire Company, including Brian Nolan, the chief, as well as a council member in the town of Marilla. Our goal is to assist our communities as best as we can. And one of the things that we've been doing lately is not just issues associated with the AEDs, which we're distributing today, but also the expansion of the emergency medical services ambulance service that we have in Erie County. We announced it last year that we were going to get an ambulance service up and running. I announced it on my State of the County, which was basically this time last year. We had it up by fall, which is one of the fastest ways in which we've been able to get a governmental agency up and running, because it was needed. It was needed in the southern part of Erie County, but we've heard from our partners here in Elma and Morrill that it's also needed there. So we're also pleased to announce that we will be expanding the ambulance service from its current locations, which are primarily southern Erie County up to the town of Aurora, and now we're expanding it also as a backup as needed for the towns of Marilla and Elma. It's another example of how we can provide a good service to the people of Erie County, ensuring the safety and welfare of our citizens while relying, of course, on the trained professionals that are our volunteer firefighters in these districts to deal with the daily activities. And then if needed, our ambulance service can be there as a backup to ensure the health and welfare of all in their community. With that, I want to turn it over to Brian Nolan to talk a little bit more about the work that this does and how these AEDs will assist, and also why it's important that we expand ambulance service to these communities so that we do protect all of the citizens. Brian?
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to thank Mark and Greg Gill for coming out today, providing these AEDs to the fire company. Much needed asset for us. We're looking forward to the partnership with the Erie County EMS ambulance program, making sure that that is successful for residents. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, our goal in Erie County government is always to leave our community in better shape than when we take office. Serve our public as best as we can, protect them from whatever issue may arise. And this is an example of it by donating these AEDs, which themselves are very expensive individually, to organizations, fire companies, churches, sports groups, so that if the worst case scenario happens, you have something at the ready to help save a life. And as we all saw a little over a year or so ago with the Damar Hamlin incident, if it wasn't for trained personnel being at the ready and an AED, because it was used, he may not be with us today. But instead, he was saved, and of course, he played football for our team last year. We want to be able to save everyone during a incident, and by having these AEDs at the ready across the county, it will save lives. I thank the members of the volunteer fire company for being here today and for their service to the community. It is a service. It's a volunteer service. They dedicate their time away from their families to respond to all kinds of issues, not just fires, but often mostly EMS calls now, to assist people in their time of need. And I thank them for their service on behalf of our greater community. They are saving lives, and with these AEDs, more lives will be saved. With that, I'll open up to any questions I may have for the media.
Where these will be deployed? Will they be on each apparatus, or do we know yet?
They'll be deployed in a number of pieces of apparatus in the area, not necessarily in the traditional fire cars, but ambulances and fly cars, so that when individuals can get to the scene immediately, they have it at the ready, rather than having to wait. One of the things that we've realized through time is that certain situations don't always require an immediate massive response, but you do need to have an immediate response of some type, and that's why these are important, because they help in that immediate response, especially ambulances and fly cars.
It's only 4, but 4 makes a big difference. So some of these communities that don't even have them at their access right now.
Yeah, well, it may be only 4 in this area, but we're doing hundreds of them in the long run. We started last year. I remember the first one that we gave was in the town of Tonawanda, to the swimming and aquatic center there. And you don't often think about, well, it's a swimming and aquatic center, but there are hundreds and hundreds of people that go through there daily, and they have had issues in the past of individuals having cardiac events. So you want to make certain they're in the hands of the trained professionals, as well as the places where people are, because those few minutes can make all the difference, from having to wait for an ambulance or a professional to respond to, oh, we have an AED on site, we can immediately attach it to the individual and see what the problem is, and then having these basically be automated. They tell the person what to do. So even if they have no experience whatsoever and have never touched one before, you can still run it and save a life, and those minutes make a difference. So, okay. All right, thank you.